I'm live. Hey healers. Hey gods and goddesses. What up though? What's up everybody? Welcome to the chat. Drop your city, drop your zodiac sign. Let us know who's here. Um, I got this message a few days ago and Spirit wants me to share it. Some of y'all remember back to my video um, that I shared at the beginning of the pandemic, talking about the spiritual significance of coronavirus. Um, so I want to talk about the new thing that a lot of people are worried about. I don't want to say these words because I don't want to get flags or like be on record as speaking about them. But it starts with an M and it ends with a pox. So if you guys heard about this, this is a new thing that people are getting vaccinated for, and it's primarily affecting like the most sexually active people, um, people that are most like likely to want to get vaccinated for this are apparently LGBTQ community and sex workers. And it's a STD. CB is also a STD. That's one of the ways that it's transmitted. So by these being STDs, they're affecting the most sexually active, most sexually powerful people. So you really want to look at that because spirituality is sexuality. Your sexual energy is your creative energy, is your spiritual energy. The most sexually active people and the most sexually free people, the people with the most sexual energy, are the most creative and spiritually gifted people. Um, Spirit has been talking to me a lot. I'm being instructed to go live with you guys and channel messages for you guys often, so I will. And this is just going to be a quick, short video. Um, but like, there's just like some cards that have been like haunting me that have wanted to come out as well. I'm not sure if that's going to be for this video or next one. But yeah, like, okay, so one thing is the sun card, and this is actual sun, a child. So we're really being asked to pay attention to these things for our next generations. A lot of people don't really understand with the whole psychiatric pharmaceuticals or pharmaceuticals thing. Um, because people really want to feel good about their decisions to use these type of medications, and you, from an ancestral healing standpoint, um, for the future generations, you really can't actually justify or feel good about using these pharmaceuticals on a consistent basis. Like, it's like once in a while is okay, but it's actually not that good. But everybody needs something different. You might need a like you might quit alcohol for like 20 years, but then at a certain point in your healing, you might need a shot to open something up to get you through to another portal within your healing. And likewise, like I had posted recently asking the legitimate question, like, what is the difference between a drug addict and a person who's dependent on pharmaceuticals? And a lot of people had very, very long answers that were just basically um, trying to make excuses or explain why they think that they're not the same as a drug addict. And so it's like it's a lot of social stigma here. You're using drugs. If you're using pharmaceuticals, you're using drugs. It's no different than smoking crack. It's no different than smoking weed. It's no different than drinking alcohol. And that's something that's really important for people to understand right now. When you use these substances, they are substances. They're not medicine. Medicine is herbs and energy. Okay. Chemicals are not medicine, they're drugs. If you're in the medical field, this message is especially for you, which spirit is asking for you to get out of the medical field. A lot of people really are not going to understand this message. They're not going to understand why I'm telling you this, why I'm saying this. And that's okay, because you'll learn eventually. The hard part about delivering these messages and understanding and knowing these things before they come to pass is being believed. But at least you have to believe in yourself and follow spirit and do what spirit is telling you to do when it's telling you to deliver this message to the people. Like, I don't like delivering these messages. I don't like this don't feel good. Actually, I shut off my own psychic abilities for years and I diminished them for years because I didn't like what I was seeing. But it's true, and it came to pass, and it's continuing to come to pass. So there will be, like, oh God, I hate saying this shit. In the next year, 2 million dead. 2 million dead in the next year. The medical field keeps coming up. Leave if you can and go the holistic route if you're going towards the medical field. If you're going towards the medical field, what does that say? Get out, remove yourself from dealing with the medical field as much as possible. Because they're actively doing experiments on people, especially the sexually active people who will succumb to vaccine culture. These people will become Agent Smith. It's important to have a shared global, political, and historical context with the people you will share time and space with, and leave room for growth and transformation. Love in a way that your beloved feels loved by you. So this is the message that came through a couple days ago that I wrote down. So basically, yeah, like, there's numerous things that's going to be happening with medicated people, and this goes for medical marijuana too, depending on where you get it from. That's one of the reasons why there's been such a push to legalize and have medicinal marijuana, because it's another way to get at people that aren't typically using a lot of, like, other pharmaceuticals, but they're using medical marijuana. They're susceptible to this as well, and you really want to, like, have a good connect. You really want to have a good connect when it comes to your weed and any drugs that you use, and understand that, like, if you're getting it through certain channels, that it's definitely been tampered with. You're definitely being dosed with something. My healing mind control ritual has intentions to release this, so it gives you the intentions to release anybody in your life that's supplying you with poisons, that is trying to influence your worldview or trying to influence your state of mind, your compliability. You can get that on my website. It's important to have a shared global, political, and historical context with the people you will share time and space with, and leave room for growth and transformation. So right now what's happening is that, like, people are operating from a certain like, political and historical context. Everyone is operating from a completely different political and historical context. They don't know everything that you know. You don't know everything that they know. You don't know what their assumptions are. There's a variation of history, or was it a version of history, that is, like, has been sold to the masses, that a lot of people believe. So you're going to want to find out the people that you're close with and that you share time and space with often. You're going to want to find out what that version is, and, like, get y'all on the same page if possible. That will help. And if you can't get on the same page, you guys are probably gonna not have mutual respect. It will be challenging to have mutual respect and to have, like, really fulfilling, intimate conversations. We're moving away from the surface level of life and being polite and going along with the status quo in order to survive. So the intensity of the conversations, like, the thing is that people just really won't be able to relate to one another if they can't place one another in a historical, political context that makes sense in their mind. That has to do with race, ethnicity, gender, presentation, where you live. It has to do with so many different things. So you're going to want to have these conversations with the people. There's literally nothing that you want to sweep under the rug at this time. That will be a huge mistake. There's to over communicate is better than to under communicate. But you first want to get clear with yourself and really understand and acknowledge yourself so that you know what the fuck is going on with you. And that way you'll be much more easily understood by others, and you'll understand them as well. So it'll be easier to tell like what their context is that they're coming from, because you already know and understand your context. So for me, like for example, there's certain things that I'll just like tune out now because I know that they're false. I don't subscribe to that version of reality. So when there are people that are subscribing to that version of reality, it's like can be challenging to get on the same page with them, because I'm not going to impose my version of reality on them. It's my version of reality. It doesn't make it right, but when it comes to my platform and what content I share, then I will. And like I do impose my version of reality on people because I don't see that their version. I see my version. So it's different. Like, having my own space, my community space, or my platform or whatever, I can do that. But when it comes to everyday life, and with other people, we can't necessarily like choose what they believe. And we can't make them believe what we believe. And what is happening for a lot of people, like these power struggles where people want other people to believe the same as them. They're like, a lot of times people will just like say that they believe to keep the peace. They don't really believe. They'll just, these are like domination, submission tendencies and tactics that people are using a lot of. And it's just important to continue to build that stability and be solid within yourself, so that like you notice when somebody is attempting to dominate you and you don't allow them to, because that's not consensual. Again, the healing mind control ritual has intentions that support you in setting these boundaries and protecting yourself. But like, for example, like, when you think about like just how we got here, like what is the history of humanity? Where do people come from? Like, there's so many different versions of these stories. And for example, the debate about ancient Egyptians and what color they were. People don't want to hear that they were actually like they lived in a melting pot like we do here in the US. The ancient Egypt was actually just like the US in a lot of ways, but way less white people. Way less white people. But that there was people of different skin tones. There was people from different places. And it's been like that in a lot of places. Like the origins of humanity, so many people understand where we come from. We were in a different formation than we are now. The continents were in a different formation than they are now. Just all the different events of the past few hundred years, we've been lied to like about everything. And so it's like there's a level of cognitive dissonance, because it's like people can accept that they've been lied to about some things, but then there are other mythologies that they hold on to so dearly. And to question these is like to question this person, the fabric of this person's reality. And they will lash out at another person to try to preserve that, because that's all that they have. That's all that they can stand on. So you're really being challenged at this time to like understand what your version of reality, what is it that you cling to? What is it that's most important to you, and why? What is your beliefs, and why do they serve you? Why do you hold on to them? Why do you cling to them? Love in a way that your beloved feels loved by you. I don't mind questioning anything most people think or what I've been taught, but a lot of people freak out. It's true. Yeah. And the main people who think that they're so smart have a really hard time like questioning their reality. And a lot of times they'll call people dumb or stupid. Um, and really that person is not dumb, they're not stupid, they're actually highly intelligent and able to question their own reality and question the nature of things. You're not holding tight onto a certain like viewpoint that you need to believe in order to maintain your sense of stability and sense of reality. Like that, it actually takes an extremely strong person to be able to do that, an extremely intelligent person to be able to do that. But people they'll call a name to the person that is the exact opposite of what that person is. And you'll always find that anytime that there's a person that's groundbreaking in a certain area, they're going to get the backlash as if they were not, like as if they're the opposite of that. Like if this person is groundbreaking, pushing forward racial and ethnic equality, then people will say that that person is racist. If they're groundbreaking, pushing forward equality of gender, they'll say that they're sexist or they hate men or they hate women. These things, but it's like, whatever, who gives a fuck? And the main challenge that's coming up for a lot of people is that people think like borders keep them safe. They think boundaries keep them safe. They think that building walls or building gates or building prisons keeps them safe, to keep them separated from the bad people. But actually we're all the bad people. All the bad is in all of us. And so more than anything, we want to have ways to deal with this. This is one of the reasons why I've been training my community to do spiritual healing for the past 5 years, because we need these tools. Because you need to be able to like cast the demon out of your best friend. You need to be able to cast the demon out of your boyfriend or your partner. If they're there, you need to recognize it and you need to be able to cast it out. You need to be able to protect yourself from it. This is what times we're living in. Okay. And especially if you're in the medical field, you should definitely get spiritual training. And again, at the beginning of this message, what is said is like, try to leave the field if you can. I'm not trying to tell you guys to quit your jobs or mess up your livelihood. I'm trying to give you a little bit of advice that can support you. If you're investing in like studies or certifications or things, that you actually that investment might be better suited in holistic healing arts, because things are going to be changing. And leave room for growth and transformation. Ultimately, you have to channel these messages for yourself. You have to make these decisions for yourself. You can't just rely on a bitch that has a YouTube channel to tell you what to do. And that's very important. You'll know what's best for you. These messages just come through to support you and to support you in deciding for your highest good. So keep questioning everything. Keep clearing your energy. Look out for the medical field. Don't go there if you can help it. If you can stay away from hospitals and doctors, I'm being honest, you guys, I don't fuck with these things. Also, I don't assume any responsibility or any liability for anything that you do with this information either. This is not medical advice. And what type of fucked up world do we even live in where like literally like I'm just giving a channeled message. It's not medical advice. Why is that so criminalized? Why is that so criminalized? Like, the spiritual community is under a major attack, and the reason why is because we have that antidote to what is currently going on. Same reason why the Muslim community has been under attack for so long, because Islamic healing knows what to do about what's going on here. This is ancient Egypt all over again. So everybody that's active with your past life memory, you should already know what time it is. the lies that people say about, I'm not even going to go on the whole tangent about like the way that people feel about Arab people and how shitty it is. But it's like, how do you think we got here? Why do you think we look like this? We are mixed. We've been in the melting pot before, and we're here now. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm back for like round however many, and I'm not going nowhere. And that was 2020. That was 2022. We have about 5 more years of things really shifting and changing, and our reality is going to look a lot different. Everything is getting more natural. The more natural and holistic your lifestyle is, the better equipped you're going to be to deal with these changes. So this is why I say, like, the more you can divest from relying on the medical field, the better, because at a certain point, it's not going to be there. And that's going to take, about 20 years is what I'm getting for that to dissolve. Now, see, it's like there's a certain milestones, like 5 years, 20 years, 15 years. You're gonna know what you need to do to prepare for every next phase, but you're gonna continuously want to pull yourself back from these institutions and pull back from the reliance on them. And I've said this before, and one of the things that is going to happen is that it's going to seem like reparations are served, and it's going to seem like power is being given to people that it's been taken away from. That is not the case at all. It's a setup. Don't believe them. But I'm not, like, it's like they're going to use every tactic. I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to take a check. How could I do that? But at the same time, they're going to use every tactic in order to, like, get this to play out in a way that will result in maximum bloodshed. The goal here is maximum bloodshed. It's a rape and death cult. It's older than the United States. It's older than the United States. This thing is very, very old. When we talk about banishing spirits and stuff like that, we can banish this energy away from us, and we can protect ourselves from it. But we have to understand the ways of the world, the ways that these things are set up, and how they're used. So this is there is a planned mass sacrifice to this entity, 2 million in the next year. And the actual numbers, you can't really rely on the news or anything like that for the actual numbers on what's going to be happening. But 2 million, it's not even that many people compared to how many people are on Earth. But what scares me is what's coming after that. So Spirit didn't give us any more information than that at this time. But if you guys have your own channel messages, feel free to leave a comment with them. Let us know what's been coming through for you. I'm about to get off here. I'm going to do another live too, so tune in for that one. But I just wanted to come through with that message real quick. Thanks for tuning in. Peace, healers. Ma salama.